This is the plaintiff, Jenny Tunstall. She says she rented an apartment, and in the middle of her lease, the defendant sold the building. And now that she's moved out, he refuses to return her security deposit. She caused no damages, the defendant's a crook, and she's here suing for the $475 she's owed. This is the defendant, Charles Ahrens. He says the plaintiff owes him 19 months' worth of parking fees she never paid. That's why he's keeping her security. He tried explaining that to the plaintiff. She doesn't seem to want to admit she still owes him money, and so here they are. He's accused of mistreating a tenant.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff rented an apartment from the defendant. The building went into foreclosure, and now the new owner is demanding more security from the tenant. But the defendant says she still owes him for 19 months in parking fees. It's the case of don't park it here.
Thank you, Douglas. Jenny Tunstall, you are suing Charles Ahrens?
Yes.
For $475, the amount of your security deposit. He's your former landlord, correct?
Yes.
All right. So you no longer live in that building, but while you were living there, the building transferred ownership. Is that right?
Yeah, I still live in the building.
Oh, you do still live in the building?
Yeah. Okay. And basically, I rented out the apartment from him. He leased it out to me in March.
Okay.
And probably like a month in, I get a letter on my door from like a new owner saying he owns the building now.
Okay.
And he's asking for first month's rent, first month's security. So I'm thrown off because I'm like, what's going on?
So you got to come up with 3 months again?
Pretty much, yeah. So
but how much had you paid him?
For rent for him was $475.
No, but how had you paid him first, last, and security a month earlier?
Yeah, I did. I paid him for rent and security, first month's rent and security.
Okay, so the first month's rent you had lived, and then he has your security.
Yes.
And then the new owner is asking for the next month, that's first month for him.
Yes.
Last month and a security. Did you tell him why didn't you get it from the old owner?
Yeah, I'm basically asking him questions like, how does this work? Because now I have to sign a new lease with the new
Did you
owner.
sell the building or did you get foreclosed on?
Foreclosed.
Oh, so somebody bought it, I guess, at auction in the foreclosure?
Yes.
All right. Now, you say something in an answer to the complaint that did you own 2 buildings that were adjacent?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the only one that got foreclosed on?
Yes.
All right. So your new landlord made you pay last month and another security deposit?
Yes.
And you agreed to it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have a lease with him or no?
Yes.
Listen, the new owner takes it subject to whatever rights and obligations are already there. You could have forced him to just accept what was going on. Mm-hmm. You had a lease?
Yes.
And the lease was for you to pay how much?
For Charles was $475 for rent.
And then the new person comes in and says, I'm not going to respect that lease?
No.
Yeah, no, he would have had to. That's horrifying. And now you got to pay how much in rent?
$550.
That stinks. Did you sign a new lease with him?
Yes.
Yeah, so you have it's not even like you can do anything about it. No, you didn't have to sign a new lease. He would have had to just eat it for the rest of the term. But we're not here to talk about that. Bygones are bygones. So you do pay him the new security, and then you tell him, hey, I need my security back from you. And what's he say?
He's told us, well, me and the other tenants there, that he was going to give us the security back. And then he even wrote us a letter saying that he would return our security back.
Would or wouldn't?
He would.
And then?
Never even got it.
Did you ever call him, or he stopped taking your calls, or how'd that work out?
I called him and he said he would give it back to me on this type of week, on this day. Never got it back. So at this point, I'm like, am I ever going to get the security back?
As part of our leasing, the lease I asked for was $550. I learned of this foreclosure and became apparent it was going to consummate.
It was going to what?
It was going to happen.
How long had you not been paying the mortgage? Because foreclosures don't happen in 20 minutes.
No, that's
How long had you not been paying the mortgage?
Approximately a year.
A year. So it wasn't like you read the tea leaves. You have not been paying it for a year, so of course it's inevitable. Okay, so then what happens?
As to the timing of it, in any event, the rent that I offered was $550. When I decided the foreclosure was imminent, I reduced the rent to $475 and asked her to rent a space in my parking lot for $25 a month.
Okay.
Resulting in a net saving to her of $50 a month.
Okay.
And she agreed.
And then?
And she refused to pay the $25.
Right, but you only owned the place for a month. How long did you own the place for?
Which place?
No, I'm sorry. How long was she your renter?
May 1st.
When did you get foreclosed on?
May 20. Well,
So we're talking about 1 month's time?
Yes.
Okay, so even if your theory that she's supposed to pay $25 every month for parking were true, why would you keep her $475 deposit?
To make up for the $25 in lost revenue over the period of the lease, 19 months.
You don't own it. You can't collect rent on it ever again, including the $25 for the parking space that you also don't own. Are you nuts?
I own the parking space.
Is the parking space separate from the building?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And the people in
Where is
that
the
building
parking space?
adjacent to the other building. And the people in the building that was foreclosed on are not allowed to park in that parking lot.
Ah, okay. Now you're making sense.
So when you rent an apartment, if the landlord sells the building, is the landlord required to give your security to the new owner?
I would assume so. I mean, if the security deposit doesn't come back to you, what about the rent?
Yeah, I mean, you don't think about this, but it happens sometimes. What do you say?
It should have, the contract should go with the new owners, because you sign a contract with the previous owners. If they sell it, it should go to the new owner.
Makes sense to me, going inside the courtroom.
All right. Is it accurate that you park your car in that place?
Yes, but I don't. I never did.
Did you never park? Did you ever agree to park your car there?
Because it was part of it was like a verbal agreement that
in order to pay $475 in rent.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen. But so did you park your car there for the 1 month?
No, I always parked on the street.
No, but were you privileged to park your car there?
Oh, I was, but I just chose
to park on the street.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, how would that still, I understand what you're saying, but how on earth do you think that if you entice somebody, your rent will only be $475, net savings to you of $50, so all you got to do is pay for a $25 parking space over in this part, and then it's a savings over the $550, and then she says yes, and then life changes for her because you don't own it, and you can't deliver on that promise of her rent being $475, and now she has to pay $550. Why would she have to continue to pay for the parking space? She can cancel anytime she wants. And plus, why wouldn't she when she didn't get the benefit of that deal you finagled?
Your Honor, I advised her, as I advised the other tenants, the lease that I prepared for them was ironclad, and it had to.
No, you're right.
It had to be followed.
Right, but some bullied her into. Okay, do you have that lease?
I do.
Okay, now the problem you have is you have no standing to enforce that lease. You relinquished the standing. Does the lease have say about the parking or no?
No, it says parking is not included.
No.
It does say
it say you are renting from me for 19 months a parking space at this place?
No.
Okay, so you don't even have that going for you. All right. Yeah. No. I'm ordering you to return to her everything but $25 of her security deposit. And you will be returning to her $450. That's just wrong for you to keep that. That's my verdict.
Well, in a relatively short and sweet case, Mr. Aarons, it didn't work out for you. You don't get to keep all that 19 months of $25 parking fees. No go. You get it for 1 month. That's
Yes,
it.
that's correct.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Woman broke her word. There wasn't anything in writing, but it was not coerced or whatever. I reduced her rent $50 a month, which...
But that didn't last.
No, she was foolish enough. I also advised her that lease is as good as gold. He has no right. Just walk into the judge. The judge is going to throw it right out.
Yeah, you're right.
And she didn't listen to me, so she's paying actually now $75 more a month than she would have.
But at least she doesn't have to pay you more parking. How about that?
Oh, yeah, the parking is off the table.
Okay.
I'll survive.
Okay, good enough. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good try. Mr. Turnstile, good idea that you came to court. Don't you think so?
Absolutely, 100%.
Do you feel bad that you got bullied into signing a new lease?
A little bit now that I know that I didn't have to sign a new lease, but first time having an apartment, I don't know.
He says he told you it was ironclad, but
Yeah, I just chose not to listen.
you live and learn, right?
Pretty much.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was a good lesson for everybody, Harvey. What do you think?
Okay, just one quick point, Doug. If a landlord sells to a new owner, that new owner buys that place subject to all of the obligations that the landlord owed to his tenants and to others.